And then they charged me, the case I just got out for first-degree murder and 2 attempt murders. They charged me with that. I beat that. I mean, I'll get to that.
It went all the way to trial?
Yeah. Yeah, they ain't just letting you out for no shit. They don't.
The time they read the verdict, and you hear not guilty of this charge, this charge, this charge, this charge.
Oh, that felt crazy.
Was it emotional?
Yeah, I done that. You know, I'm gangster though. I done that. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that shit felt funny as hell.
That's not human, man. You're not regular, man. He was the devil, man. That was the devil, man. Real, man. That was the fucking devil, man.
It's true that you shot all your original videos from your house because you was on house arrest because you had a shootout with the police?
My lawyer said don't talk about that.
Okay.
That means that's true. We just can't talk about it. We
Lost?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah. When I first got locked up, cause I ain't know what they was gonna do. I ain't know. I thought, damn. I was so young. I ain't know. I was like, damn. This before I made murder on my mind. I was like, man, hell no. They finna give me a year. Yeah, and some extra time. I'm like, damn. They gonna forget about my ass.
It's like the worst hood in Jacksonville. Like literally the worst hood. Hilltop Village Apartments.
Okay, when you say it's the worst hood, what does that mean exactly?
Like killings, shootings, prostitution, drugs, like whatever, like anything you don't supposed to see, you gonna see it up.
You know, when you see that young guys that's hot in the streets, you know, like yourself, how much does that like kind of impact, you know, the way you do?
Yeah, it affects you a lot. It should. Like, you should learn off everybody's mistakes too, and like, especially if you're able to see and like just take heed from what you get out of. Like, I learn from certain stuff.
I got like 20 names on my bail conditions. That's basically all my brethren that I grew up with. I'm not allowed to be with them. If I'm with them or in contact with them, phoning them, social media, anything, go back to jail. If I'm allowed with 2 men from the ends, they're in jail right now.
You've been prison like 3 times, 4 times?
Oh.
Yeah, I know how to bring it up. You've been prison a couple times.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do at the moment? Like, would you say this is the most kind of like heat you've had? What are you gonna do to stay out of that trouble and make sure that you don't go back in? How do you avoid all that?
It's a tough one still. It's tough.
Some rappers didn't just rap about violence, they lived it on camera. From Chicago to New York to London, the streets behind the music have claimed countless lives, influenced entire generations, and left a trail of tragedy that no hit single can erase. This isn't just stories about beats and lyrics, it's about the real cost of living what you rap about. Let's start with a man whose reputation alone made other rappers shiver, King Von. Devin DeCoin Bennett, better known as King Von, was born in 1994 on Chicago's South Side in the notorious O-Block neighborhood. His life was defined by tragedy from the very beginning. His father was killed in a gang-related shooting when Von was just 11 years old. Most kids that age are worried about schoolwork or video games. But Devin was already learning the brutal lesson that death could strike at any moment. That kind of trauma doesn't just disappear, it shapes you. Von grew up in a world where survival depended on violence. As a teenager, he began racking up criminal charges for everything from stolen vehicles to aggravated battery. But the case that cemented his notoriety came in 2014, when at just 19, Von was charged with the murder of a rival gang member, Malcolm Stuckey. He spent 3.5 years behind bars, with no bond, staring at 4 walls, waiting to see if he would spend the rest of his life locked up. When the trial finally came, Von walked out not guilty on all counts. It was a moment he later described as crazy, emotional, even for a self-proclaimed gangster. But while Von beat that case, non-allegations linked him to at least 7 other homicides, based on police reports, his lyrics, and social media posts. Fellow Chicago rapper King Yella went on record after Von's death, saying straight up, "That Chio was a devil, man, not human." In November 2020, Von's life was cut short outside an Atlanta hookah lounge during a confrontation with Quando Rondo's crew. If he had survived, he would have faced charges from a 2019 shooting in Georgia. The streets finally caught up to him one way or another. Von's story is a chilling reminder that in drill music, fame and talent offer no immunity from the violence that inspires the music itself. Next, we have Lil Durk, musical genius or criminal mastermind. Devontae Banks, better known as Lil Durk, was born in 1992 in Englewood, Chicago, a neighborhood infamous for its poverty and gang violence. Durk didn't just grow up around the streets, he was molded by them. In 2010, he founded Only the Family, a rap collective that would later be tied to allegations of organized crime. Durk's criminal record started in 2011 with a weapons charge, and over the years, it escalated. In 2019, he faced attempted murder charges connected to a shooting in Atlanta that also involved King Von. But the real bombshell came in 2024 when federal authorities charged Durk with conspiracy to commit murder for hire. The plot allegedly targeted Quando Rondo, the same figure linked to Von's death, and the hit ended up killing Rondo's cousin instead. Prosecutors claimed Durk used his label's earnings to fund this violence, effectively running a criminal enterprise disguised as a record label. Yet despite the allegations, Durk has emphasized the need for self-control. "I started trusting my instincts," he said in an interview. "Instead of everybody around me controlling me, I control myself now." It's a rare glimpse into the mind of an artist who balances between creative genius and a violent reality he can't fully escape. Then there's Chief Keef, the godfather of drill music, whose influence shaped the genre itself. Born Keith Frelkart in 1995 in Englewood, Chicago, Keef became famous for raw YouTube freestyles that captured street life with an intensity nobody had heard before. But his fame came with a criminal past. At 15, he was arrested for manufacturing and delivering heroin near a school, and in the same year, he was involved in a police chase where shots were fired. But Keef's arrests continued with probation violations and weapons possession, forcing him to relocate to Los Angeles in 2014 just to avoid the heat in Chicago. Despite the legal trouble, his impact on drill was monumental. Songs, diss tracks, and early feuds, like his infamous diss of Tuka, helped escalate violence across Chicago neighborhoods. Keef's story shows how drill music isn't just entertainment, it's a reflection of a life lived on the edge. Crossing the country to New York, the drill scene took on a new life, with its own deadly stars. Kevin Perez, known as K-Flock, was born in 2003 in the Bronx and affiliated with the Sevside DOA crew. By 18, he was arrested for the murder of Oscar Hernandez outside a Harlem barbershop. Prosecutors argued this wasn't random. It was a targeted hit tied directly to his music, behind which glorified violence and escalated gang conflicts. Later, he faced federal RICO charges for racketeering, conspiracy, attempted murder, and assault. And in 2025, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison. The prime of his life stripped away, a chilling illustration of the real cost of living what you rap about. Brooklyn drill wasn't much safer. Chef G, born Michael Kyle Williams in 1998, was affiliated with the 8 Trey Crips and its 9-way subset. He joined a gang at 12, faced multiple arrests, and by 2023, he was indicted in a massive 140-count RICO case, alongside 31 others. Allegedly, he even offered bounties on rivals' heads funded by his music earnings. Chef G pleaded guilty to attempted murder and conspiracy, receiving 5 years in prison. His advice to the younger generation is stark. Prison isn't what it looks like in movies. Go to college instead. Another Brooklyn pioneer, 22GZ, born Jeffrey Mark Alexander in 1997, also saw how his music and gang ties could create real-world danger. His criminal record spans conspiracy to commit murder, weapons possession, and assault, with multiple charges dropped over the years. But the reputation stuck. In 2019, he was banned from performing at a New York music festival over safety concerns. Music festivals literally feared the violence his presence could trigger. Across the Atlantic in London, drill music emerged with its own deadly narrative. Digga D, born Angelo Emile Herbert in 2000, was part of 101, later CGM. His criminal history started young, including violent disorder convictions and prison. The UK courts even restricted what he could say in his music, forcing lyrics to be vetted before release. That's right, the government literally told a rapper what he could and couldn't rap about. Losky Gerald O'Connor, born in 1999 in South London, faced multiple arrests for weapons and gang-related crimes. His legal restrictions barred him from associating with his own crew, essentially cutting him off from the people who shaped his identity and music. Hetty One, born Irving Empo AJ in 1994, survived multiple stints in prison while navigating Tottenham's gang wars. He managed to find a path to mainstream success, showing that survival requires strategy, patience, and a little luck. Unknown T from East London, born 1999, rose with tracks like Homerton B. He was convicted of manslaughter in 2018 after a stabbing at a New Year's party. His lyrics were used against him in court, highlighting a precedent where drill music became evidence of real-life violence. 2 Smoke Okie, a North London drill artist, represents the newer generation, with hyper-violent lyrics often censored for graphic content, showing that the cycle continues. Back in the United States, NBA Youngboy embodies a similar raw energy and the consequences of a violent lifestyle. Born Kentrell Deshaun Galden in 1999 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, he faced criminal charges as young as 15, from robbery to attempted murder. By 2024, he was arrested on 63 federal charges as an alleged leader of a drug ring. What sets him apart is self-awareness. In interviews, he reflected on the lives impacted by his music, realizing that fame amplified responsibility in ways most artists never face. YNW Melly, born Jamal Maurice Demons in 1999 in Gifford, Florida, takes this darkness to another level. Allegedly murdering his own crew members, he faces charges that could lead to the death penalty. His most famous song, Murder on My Mind, was written in jail and is now cited as evidence of motive. Melly has spoken about having multiple personalities and the trauma of incarceration, showing just how thin the line between music and reality can be. The stories continue with Julio Fulio from Jacksonville, Florida. Born Charles Andrew Jones II in 1998, he grew up in Hilltop Village Apartments, one of the deadliest neighborhoods in the city. Fulio's diss tracks escalated gang wars with rival crews, leading to his death in 2024. Pooh Shiesty, from South Memphis, born in 1999, was signed to Gucci Mane's label but faced federal prison for conspiracy, 1 shootings, and assault. Even with fame and resources, the streets remained unforgiving. The common thread across all these stories is clear. Drill music didn't just describe life in the streets, it became entwined with it. In Chicago, New York, London, Louisiana, and Florida, rappers were living the lyrics they spat, often with deadly consequences. Fame didn't protect them, talent didn't save them. Only a mixture of instinct, timing, and luck separated those who survived from those who didn't. The real tragedy is that the consequences extend far beyond the artists themselves. Families lose fathers, sons, and brothers. Communities are caught in cycles of retaliation. Fans watch young stars rise and fall, sometimes within the same year. The music can inspire, it can entertain, but for these rappers, it also served as a blueprint for conflict, often ending in blood. From King Von labeled a devil, to YNW Melly facing the ultimate price, to NBA Youngboy reflecting on the impact of his lyrics, one thing is certain: drill music isn't just entertainment, it's a raw, unfiltered window into a world where the line between performance and real life is perilously thin. Some survive, some don't, and some leave legacies that will be debated, analyzed, and remembered for decades. The streets may change, law enforcement may intervene, and music platforms may censor the content, but the stories remain brutal, tragic, and unforgettable. So, what's the lesson here? If you step into the world of drill, don't just listen. Watch, observe, and understand the consequences of a life lived on the edge. Because in this world, music is more than music. It's reality, it's danger, and for some, it's fatal. Which of these stories shocked you the most? Comment below. And if you want to dive even deeper into the lives of the deadliest rappers alive and gone, check out the cards on your screen right now.